Hey guys, I want to talk briefly about just this concept that men struggle with from all that I know about my own personal life, then dealing with lots of men and talking with lots of men. We all struggle with this idea of hiding, right? So there's something in us that we truly want to let people know this is who I really am. Like we long for authenticity, right? We long for authenticity. When we see it in somebody else, it attracts us to them. Somebody who's willing to say, you know what, I struggle with this. You know what, my life isn't perfect. You know what, I have this problem with pornography or whatever the case is. When we see somebody struggle and they're being real, we resonate with that on a deep level. But then when we turn that on ourselves, this fear takes over and we hide. We think, well, I'm going to be better off if I'm protected. And the issue is that from an early age, when we were very young, we were taught that in order to be accepted, like in whatever certain culture that you grew up in, and I'm thinking specifically of a good Christian home, um, in order to be accepted, this is how we behave. This is how we talk. This is how we act. And for a lot of us, with church leadership or our parents, our family, we never saw struggle. We never saw real like authenticity in and struggle against sin. And so what we did from a very early age is we learned to hide. And instead of being brutally honest about where we are, who we are, what we struggle with, we paint this picture. And we hide behind this and we just draw this picture. This is who I am. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. Hey, you don't have to worry about me. Everything is good. Life is good. But in reality, it's not true. And so what happens is we start to believe that if they really knew who I was, they wouldn't accept me. And I think after a while of doing that, of pretending, we get we really start to believe all of this stuff that we're saying, like that no one would really accept me if I came forward and said, you know what, I'm struggling with pornography, or I've got this sin in my life that I've never told anybody else about. And so we continue to hide. We continue to do this over and over and over again until we go down a path that we never thought we would go down. And then all of our relationships are based on superficial, hey, this is who I am, but that's not really me. So all of our friendships are just, talking about business, about sports, about things that don't really matter all that much. I mean, we like them and they're fun to talk about, but these friends of ours don't really know who we are. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are a brother in Christ, like the thing is, we're doing this, but we're not hiding from God. Like He sees us, He knows us. And if we're in Christ, He fully accepts us how we are. Or I should say this, He accepts us completely, but He has an agenda for change. Right? So his desire is that we come from behind here through fellowship with other believers, through authenticity, through confessing of sin, like in not James 6, in Galatians 6. One of my favorite kind of passages here is when Paul's saying, hey, if you see any of your brothers who are caught up in sin or overtaken by sin, have habitual sin, you who are spiritual, now this is not a hierarchy. This is not saying, hey, you pastors or whatever. This is saying you who are filled with the Spirit, which he just talked about in chapter 5, you who are filled with the Spirit, restore them gently. Restore them gently. Bear their burdens. And so, guys, we're called to like love each other and be completely authentic with each other. We need brothers that we can share the truth of the crap going on in our lives with and not fear judgment, but instead receive encouragement, receive godly wisdom from, receive accountability. Like we need this accountability in our lives. And so when we see authenticity and kind of this rawness in other men, like we deep down, we desire that, but yet we're scared. And I just want to encourage you. I want you to encourage you to find somebody that you can be authentic with. Find somebody that you can say, hey, here are all the things. Like I've never told people this. This is what I'm struggling with. So, and if one of those things is, hey, you struggle with pornography and you don't know who in the world to talk to, well, I want to encourage you to reach out to me and tell me about your struggle. I'll be happy to help you, happy to listen and just give you some godly encouragement and hopefully some direction and some encouragement on how you can be free from habitual sexual sin in your life. All right, guys. Again, reach out if I can ever do anything for you.